I thought I would do a Q&A just because if you're not one of my clients, so you're not one of my friends, you probably actually don't know much about me. And seeing as I'm taking this YouTube thing quite seriously now, and I've been very consistent with it, I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A so you can get to know me. So I done a question box on my beauty Instagram account, and I actually said to like my clients or my followers, like, you can literally ask me anything. I actually got quite a lot of questions. I mean, there are quite a lot that are to do with like the beauty industry and like the salon and like being a business owner and stuff, so I will answer a few of them as well, but I thought it'd be fun to answer more of the like personal questions so you can like seriously get to know me. Let's get going. So the first question is, oh my god, I thought I lost all the questions then. I don't know how that happened. So the first question is, how long have you done lashes for, and what made you want to get into doing lashes? So I've done lashes now for about 6 years. And the reason I wanted to do, well, to be honest with you, I never wanted to do lashes. Like when I was younger, lashes was never a thing. Like that was never something I was interested in or thought I'd be capable of doing or thought I'd even have the patience for. I actually just love beauty. Like growing up, I love beauty, I love makeup, I love hair, I love anything girly. So when I was at school, this is going to be quite a long answer, but when I was at school, everyone told me, like my parents, my teachers, all said like, no, you don't want to do beauty. And fair enough, like back then, like 10, 11, 12 years ago, beauty wasn't really a big deal. Like I don't think lashes was even a thing then. It just wasn't really like, you know, something you could see yourself doing as a career, like, or like a big financial, like it, basically back then, like beauty wouldn't really make that much money. Like there wasn't really that many beauty treatments, maybe hairdressing and like waxing, maybe nails, like acrylic nails, but again, like there was no one around that really did them. It just wasn't really a big deal. So I ended up getting a job in finance in the city, which I absolutely hated. Like there was nothing worse than me sitting there 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, staring at a computer screen. Like that is just not for me. I cannot do it. I'm too like, I need to be doing something. So I realised that went for me and obviously wasn't passionate about it. Then I worked in a hotel after that, which was so fun. I was there for a couple of years, really enjoyed it, but again, I wasn't passionate about it. Didn't really care about hospitality. I was just there literally to make a little bit of pocket money. Well, I say pocket money, just my wages. And I just didn't, see myself doing it forever. And then I got a receptionist role in a salon, and literally just before I got this role, I went to America, and this is what really pushed me to want to do beauty and like makeup and things like that. Was we went to a shopping mall and they had some sort of like fashion show going on, and I saw all the makeup artists doing like the models' makeup, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like that is 100% what I want to do. Like I know now, looking at them, I don't want to do finance. I don't want to work in a hotel. I don't want to, you know, do something that I'm not passionate about. Like at this point, I loved makeup so much. So I remember I came home from that holiday and I'd done a makeup course. And yeah, after that, I got a job in a salon as a receptionist. And in this salon, they done like lashes and brows and things like that. And that was like the first time I used to get my lashes done prior to this, but that was the first time I really thought, wow, like this is something I could do, and like this is something I want to do. And then it went from there. So I done my makeup course, I started doing makeup, I then done a lash course, then started doing lashes, and the rest is history. But I feel like I'm glad I done it the way I did. Like I'm glad I tried finance, I'm glad I tried working in the city, I'm glad I tried working in a hotel, because I feel like I've tried a lot of different things. I've had other jobs as well, like I've worked in a shoe shop and stuff, but I'm glad I've tried all those different things to like figure out exactly what I don't like. Because I think if I went into beauty as soon as I left school, I might have thought, is this for me? Like, can I see myself doing this as a career? But where I kind of like ruled everything else out, I knew what I wanted to do beauty. Like I knew that's what I was passionate about. Like I knew growing up that I loved beauty so much that this is something that I definitely could see myself doing. Lashes wasn't what I wanted to do particularly, but I just knew that I wanted to work in the beauty industry. And after doing lashes for a couple of months, I realized like I'm actually quite good at this, and I've like really got the hang of it now. And like, yeah, like I said, the rest is history. The next question that I have got is, how do you deal with burnout? Honestly, not very well lately. Like, I've been getting to the point where I'm past the point of burnout and it's like too late. Like, really, I should be doing a lot more things to prevent myself from getting burnt out. So, I mean, for me, like, I do a lot of things like reading and just, you know, I take a lot of time for myself. And you know, I'm very, very busy with my job. Like, there's a million things going on in my brain, and, you know, my brain is constantly going. There's always different ideas, and there's always things that I've got to do. So, I don't know, like, it's a hard one. Like, I don't think I deal with burnout very well, but like, things that I do try and do, like on a daily or weekly basis to try and stop myself from getting burnt out, is I do take time away from my phone. And that's why I'm so bad at replying to people, because when I feel myself slowly starting to burn out, I know that I need to get away from my phone. Like, a lot of my job, although I'm doing lashes most days, is from my phone. Like, a lot of my job, I'm replying to people, I'm doing social media work, I'm doing things on the Instagram, the salon account, I am replying to clients. Like, there's a lot going on that comes from my phone, and there are days where I just think I need to switch off. Like, my social battery is at 0 and I just need to switch off. So there are times that I just need to like come off my phone, and if that means that I don't reply to my friends or I don't reply to my clients for like 2-3 days, then that's what it has to be. And I know that sounds extremely unprofessional, but it will get to the point where I'm so burnt out that I will start to hate my job, and that I will start to resent people, because like, I'm just constantly on my phone and I'm constantly replying to them and stuff. And I think with my job, because it's such a sociable job and I'm constantly talking to clients and I'm constantly giving them my energy, I don't have a lot of energy for myself like any other time, if that makes sense. So like, I really try and just like take some time away from my phone, just take some time for myself. And I really do enjoy my own company. So like I said, I enjoy reading, I enjoy watching other people's YouTube videos, I do enjoy cooking, like when I've got the time. Like, I try and take just like at least like an hour a day for myself, even if it's just going to the gym. Like, I try and consistently take like time for myself, and I never used to do that. I never used to have boundaries. I used to honestly tell my clients everything and tell everyone everything, little detail about my life, and I would take on all their problems as well and all their burdens. And I just think that got to the point where I was literally like burning myself out, because I was just using so much energy in my job. So now I just kind of set myself more boundaries, and like I said, if it means that I don't reply to people for 2-3 days, then, you know, no one's gonna die. Like, it's fine. Like, these people I will get back to them eventually. Like, it just means that like, it gives me time to like recuperate and like for my social battery to rise again before completely burning myself out. But like I said, lately I haven't been dealing with it as well as I should be. Like, I'm not setting myself as many boundaries, I'm not being like disciplined enough. And I do think like having boundaries and having self-discipline are so important for when it comes to burnout, because if you don't have those things, then you'll just keep going and going and going until you are literally like dead. Like, you will just have nothing left to give, and then that's when you will become like depressed or anxious or stressed. And you know, I don't want to start taking that out on other people either. So yeah, I'd say just like having time away from your phone and just doing like an hour a day, like something that you enjoy. Like I said, it could just be reading, it could just be listening to a podcast, it could just be going for a walk. Like, you need that time for yourself to like recuperate and to have away from your phone or like social media. The next salon related question that I have seen is, how did you start Sidcup Beauty Studios? Well, I actually started Sidcup Beauty Studios with my ex-business partner, Becca, who I absolutely adore, and if it weren't for her, then there would not be a Sidcup Beauty Studios. Like, she is literally like, I can't even praise her enough, like what she's done for me and for the salon. I say ex-business partner, she no longer co-owns the salon with me, so I am doing it on my own, which is so scary. This only came into place like a couple of months ago, so I haven't really spoke about it yet. But yeah, it is so scary like taking it all on my own, but I feel like it's got to a point now where the salon is in a really, really good place. We've got a good clientele, we've got an amazing team there, everyone's happy. Like, I'm really, really happy with where we're at the salon. But yeah, so if it weren't for Becca, there would be no Sit Up Beauty Studio, so I'm so grateful for her. But she and I met a couple of years ago, well, more than a couple of years ago now, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. She's an amazing businesswoman, and she owns a salon in Essex. I hope she don't mind me talking about this. She owns a salon in Essex, and she came to me at the end of 2021 and asked if I wanted to open up a salon in Kent, and I just couldn't turn it down. Like that, I manifest so many things. I believe fully in manifestation, because there's so many things in my life that I think about and like I want, and then it just like happens for me. I'm not saying everything just falls at my hands and like I don't have to work for it or I don't have to do anything for it, but I just know that I do manifest a lot of things in my life, even bad things. Like even when I dwell on something too much, or I think about something too much, or if I speak something too much into existence that's negative, that also happens for me. So I try and think positively these days. But yeah, I literally was thinking for about 3 or 4 months, like the next move is to open up my own salon. Like I don't want to work from home anymore. I don't want to work in a cabin on my own. I want to actually have a team. I want to work with other people. I want to get out the house. I want a different environment. And for me, I didn't want to go and work in someone else's salon again after working on my own. Like obviously I worked from home. If you don't know me and you're not a client, I worked from home at a cabin at the end of my garden, and I don't know, I'd been there for like a year, and I just started to get to the point where I was getting a little bit lonely. Like as much as I had my clients every day, obviously your clients you're only seeing every like 3 to 4 weeks, and I love all my clients so much, and they have become, a lot of them have become my friends. But I was getting to the point where I was just a bit like, I don't know, I just realised I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, like working in a cabin at the end of my parents' garden. Like I want my own thing, I want more, I needed more. And literally like a week after having these thoughts, well, I'd been thinking about this for a while, but a week after seriously having these thoughts, Becca said to me, like, I found a salon in Kent, would you want to open it with me? And again, the rest is history. Like we went from there, and like I said, I'm so grateful for her. Like if it wasn't for her, there would be no Sit Up Beauty Studios. So yeah, that's the story on how we started that. Now on to the juicier questions about my personal life. How long have you been with your boyfriend, and how did you meet? So I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years now. We did go on a break, if people are wondering, like, was you together for 4 years? Yes, we have been together for 4 years. We met 4 years ago. We got together kind of like straight away really, because we was in lockdown and we only really saw each other. And yeah, so we went on a break last year for like 3 months, and then obviously rekindled. But we actually met on Tinder, which is so funny, because I remember when I actually met him and we first started dating or like seeing each other, I would tell everyone that we met like at a bar. Like I was so embarrassed to say that we met on Tinder. Like I lied to everyone, even my mum. Like I never even admitted to my mum that we met off Tinder. She knows now. Like I don't care now, because I know that he's not a lunatic. Well, actually he is a lunatic, but I know that he's not an absolute creep. Like I couldn't bring myself to tell people that I met him off Tinder. I don't know why, because that's so normal these days. But I think 4 years ago, like Hinge wasn't really a thing. Like it was mainly Tinder, and I just think it sounded a bit creepy. Like I never ever used dating apps before meeting Jake, and to be honest with you, he's the only person that I actually met off a dating app. Like I mean, to be honest with you, I've never really like dated such. I literally went on Tinder during lockdown because I was pretty much bored and didn't really have anyone else to speak to apart from the girls, and yeah, that's basically why I downloaded Tinder in the first place. But I never really met anyone prior to that, like off a dating app. So yeah, that is literally how we met. What was your worst date? Now, like I just said, I haven't been on many dates, to be honest with you. Like the only people I've ever dated have been like boyfriends, and I've literally only had 2. So yeah, I haven't really been on many dates. Probably one date that comes to mind, that I wouldn't say it was the worst date. Like it's not like horrendous, like it wasn't horrendous, but I look back now and think, what the fuck? So this guy I'd been speaking to, he basically asked me if I wanted to go for a roast dinner, and I cannot eat on the first date. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not sitting there eating, let alone a roast dinner. Like, can you imagine like the gravy like dribbling down your, oh, just, I could not. And also that's so intimate, like for a first date. Like, I need to be doing like an activity, or I need to be doing something. Like, I can't just be sitting opposite you. Like, what if the conversation is so dead and then we're just sitting there staring at each other whilst eating this roast dinner? Like, and also like on a first date, like I want to feel like cute, I want to feel sexy. I don't want to be sitting there like stuffing my face with a roast dinner, like sitting opposite you. So I was like, no way, like I'm sorry, but I know I sound really ungrateful now, and maybe some people can go and eat a roast dinner for the first date, but I was just like, I was a lot younger as well, so I was just like, no, sorry, I can't go for a roast dinner. Like, can we actually go and do something? So he was like, yeah, okay, cool, like meet me up London. So I was like, sweet, like maybe we're gonna go like, I don't know, do like mini golf, or like go for drinks or something. So I got to London and I met him. And like initially it was fine, I could tell he was a little bit nervous. And then he was like, we're gonna go and get like Boris bikes. And I was like, I was not dressed for Boris bikes. I was not fucking dressed for Boris bikes. I don't know why I didn't ask what we were doing first, but I thought, no, I've already told him I don't want to go for a roast dinner. I don't want to be like, right, so what are we doing? Like, and be too intense. Like, I thought I'll play it cool. So anyway, I was like, are you joking? Like, Boris bikes. But I didn't want to then be like really ungrateful and be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to act like a diva. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's go and get on these Boris bikes. So we went and got on these bikes. Tell me why he made me do the Tour de France around London. I am not even joking. I nearly got run over about 60 times. Like, I'm telling you, we went around the Big Ben, we went around Parliament, we went around Buckingham Palace, we was going up and down Oxford Street, and I could not keep up with him. Like, he's done clearly some like triathlons, because I didn't even know the rules of the road. Like, you know, he was doing all these hand movements, like left, right, like, come on. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, I am getting run over by black cabs everywhere. Like, it was quite traumatizing. Like, all I wanted to do was just like stop and like breathe for a second. But he was going on one. Anyway, we eventually did stop at a pub, and he was like, come on, let's get a drink. So I was like, thank God, like hopefully we're like, that's the bike session is over now, because I was not signing up for a spin class today. So we put the bikes down, went for a drink, literally had one drink, and he was like, right, come on in, you ready? And I was like, oh, what, we're going to another bar? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, sweet. Anyway, he picks the bike back up, and I was like, are we not walking there? And he was like, no, like the next pub that I want to go to is ages away. And I was like, ages away? Are you freaking kidding me? So there we are, back on these bikes, and at this point I hadn't eaten at all, so I felt a little bit tipsy after like one drink. And we're back through London, like going up and down all these busy roads. Like, you know, there was like 20 lanes going around this roundabout, and he's like crossing through it, and oh, what the fuck? Like, if a boy ever, like, don't get me wrong, I think that's a cute date. Like, I don't mind riding a bike, but like, at least one, seriously pre-warn me. Secondly, maybe like, you know, 5 or 6 dates in, not on our first date, like we couldn't even talk. Like, we literally could not talk whilst we was going on this fucking bike journey. So that was probably like, I wouldn't even say it was my worst date, because looking back on it, like, it was nice, like you know, but I definitely wouldn't recommend that, and I definitely wouldn't do it again. Like I said, you could barely talk. We hardly got to know each other because we're just fucking racing around London on these freaking bikes. And yeah, I just remembered by the end, like, my crotch hurt, my pelvis hurt, my ass hurt. I just wanted to go home. And yeah, so that probably was one of my worst dates. Sorry guys, my battery ran out, so you have moved slightly because I had to quickly change my battery. Anyway, next question. My boyfriend is working away a lot too. How do you deal with it? Not well, that's for sure. No, I think I'm very used to it now. Like, a lot of our relationship, Jake has loved traveling, and that's something like I've never been happy about, but I've also let him do. Like, when it come to him wanting to go away, like, I never stopped him. Well, I tried, but that just, it wasn't gonna happen, was it? Like, he always knew that he wanted to like travel and go to these places with his brother and stuff, and I just like never stopped him. So I guess I'm kind of used to him like working away now, and that is one thing of like, that's one bit of advice I would give to people. Just don't stop your partner from doing things. Like, they'll only resent you at a later date, and what is meant to be will be. If you have a plan in your life, and you know, I fully believe everything happens for a reason. So if your partner wants to go away for 2 or 3 weeks or on a boys' holiday, then don't stop them. Okay, it's different if you're married and you have kids, or you know, you're in a seriously committed relationship, or if they're going on like 5 boys' holidays a year and they've not gone on one with you, then okay, that's a different story. But I really think, like, firstly, just don't stop them from doing these things. Obviously, boys' holidays are a little bit different from working abroad. Like, you know, for me, I had to let Jake go and work abroad. Like, there was no stopping him from doing that, and I would never ever have dreamed of stopping him from working abroad, because it's such an amazing opportunity. But one thing I would say about, you know, dealing with them working away is just keep yourself busy. I know that's so much easier said than done, but like, focus on you. Like, when Jake's away, I really just try and focus on me, like the things that I like and what brings me happiness and what brings me joy. I've mentioned this in a few videos now, but if you can't make yourself happy, then neither can your partner. Like, okay, they can to a certain degree, but what are you going to do if you break up? What are you going to do if they leave you? Like, or if something worse happens? Like, you need to be happy on your own to be happy in a relationship, and I think your partner working away is a good test for that. I think for me, it's made us stronger, because I have to learn to be okay on my own, and that also makes us better when we're together. And there's so many other perks to like having either a long distance relationship or your partner working away a lot. Like, you actually get to miss each other. Like, I have so many friends in relationships that see their partner every day, or they live together, and they never get the opportunity to fully miss their partner. And I think with that comes a lot of like resentment, like, you know, not having your own space and not having like your own time. You know, you kind of like, that person becomes irritating. I mean, that would happen for me. If me and Jake were seeing each other absolutely every single day of our lives and we never had that time on our own, oh my God, I would hate him. Like, you need that time on your own to like really love yourself and then love them, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm really waffling on now. But anyway, dealing with him being away, it is hard, don't get me wrong. Of course I miss him so much, and of course I would rather him be at home working, but it's one of those things that like, it is what it is. I have to deal with it. I have to be okay with it. I have to learn to be happy on my own. And like I said, like, it makes me miss him so much more, so that when we do then rekindle, like, it's even more fun, it's even more exciting, it's even more like passionate and lovey-dovey and all those like nice things that you get from a relationship. Of course, we FaceTime every day and we text a lot. I mean, for me, it's quite hard because Jake is working pretty much the other side of the world, so the time difference is freaking long, but we just make it work. Like, you have to, and that's one thing I would say. If you both want to make it work, you will. Like, if you don't, and if you're not that interested, or if you're being really, really negative towards them being away, then it's not going to work. It's going to crash and burn. But if you both want to make it work, and you both have a lot of love for the relationship, and there's like an end goal in your relationship, you will make it work. And that's another thing, you need to have an end goal. Like, for me, if I didn't know when Jake was coming back home, or if, you know, he was away all the time and we never ever spoke about our future, then that would be really, really, really hard for me. Like, the fact that we have goals together, and I know kind of roughly when he's coming home, I know like the time frame of it, then I can keep myself going, like knowing that there's like light at the end of the tunnel. But like I said, just do things that make you happy. Go and see your friends, like go and learn a new hobby, like journal, read, like, you know, listen to podcasts, like work hard, work on you, earn your money. Like, for me, the salon keeps me so sane while Jake's away. Like, work for me is what keeps me going, because I obviously love my job so much. So for me, that's like something that really keeps me like sane whilst he's away. But that is probably my main suggestion, or a bit of advice for like when your partner is working away or is away and you're having to deal with being sort of like alone, is work on you. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, forever. Like, that's the one person that's going to always be by your side, is yourself. So work on her or him, whoever, like, whatever gender you are, like, work on yourself, because when they come back or when you see them again, you'll be even a better person, and you'll be able to give even more love, and like, you'll be able to nourish the relationship even more. I know that's quite generic anyway, like, I feel like that's what a lot of people would tell you to do, but I just feel like that is what works for me when I really focus on myself and don't dwell too much on him being away. How do you deal with stressful situations at work? To be honest with you, I am quite a stressy person, but I also really keep my chill. Like, I don't feel like I ever look stressed or come across stressed. I might be crying inside, but I never really like showcase that, if that makes sense. But I think, you know, it's hard for me to say just keep calm. Like, obviously that's so much easier said than done. But for me, like, with stressful situations at work, I mean, I don't feel like there ever is any like stressful situations at work. I mean, I think one thing that helps me, sorry. I think one thing that helps me is talking to other people about it. Obviously there's things at work that I can't talk to every single person about, you know, like, I can't burden my clients with stressful things that happen at work, or I can't talk to all the staff members about things that happen at work. But even if it's like a parent or your partner or your best friend, like, sometimes you don't even need them to give you any advice back. Like, you just want to vent. Like, if something stressful, really stressful happens to me at work, then I'll tell my best friend, or I might tell Jake, or I might tell my mum. And, you know, sometimes they can give you advice, but sometimes you don't even need that. You just need to let it all out, and then you feel better about it. That's kind of how I deal with things, by talking about things. So for me, I will, yeah, let it out. And then I just feel like, as well, like, a problem shared is a problem halved. So for me, I don't like to bottle things up. I think that makes me so much worse, because it's just going around and round and round in my head. But if something stressful has happened, then, you know, even if it's just talking to my dad or someone, and like I said, sometimes their advice might be naff and you don't even want to hear what they've got to say. But for me, genuinely, I think talking to people about it always makes me feel like a weight off my shoulders. But that's probably the only advice I can give for stressful situations, because I don't really feel like I get stressed that much at work, because I have such a lovely job. Like, I really do enjoy my job. So even if it was a stressful situation for someone else, it probably wouldn't feel that stressful for me. How do you keep the spark alive in your relationship? This is such a good one, because one thing I would say over the past 4 years with Jake, there has always been a spark. Like, there's always been chemistry, there's always been like passion. And I don't know as such how to keep that alive. I think it's happened naturally with us. Like, I think we've always just had that spark, and I do think that is kind of like something that you don't need to like force or work on. I do think it should happen naturally with two human beings. Like, I think you should just come together and have that spark, and I'd hope to think that that should last forever. I've been in relationships before where there hasn't been a spark, and towards the end of the relationship I haven't felt that chemistry, and I haven't felt that passion, and I haven't felt like I've been in love with them. I do feel like there was maybe no spark to begin with, but with Jake there has always been a spark. But one big thing I would say to keep the spark alive is having time to yourself. I think for us, like I said, where we do have periods where we are away from each other, that spark is even better when we come back together. Like, that spark is even more there because you've missed them. Or it might be the other way around. You might have time apart and you might realise there is no spark. I don't miss you. I don't feel like I'm in love with you. I don't feel like I want to see you. I don't feel like, you know, you might even start getting the ick a little bit when you've realised I don't miss them. Like, I don't want to be with them. So one thing I would say is like having time to yourself, having not long periods apart, but maybe just a week, maybe like a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. Like, having that time apart makes you really crave them more and realize like that's the person I want to be with. Like, and I believe that keeps the spark going. I also think, you know, having lots of things planned, like having future dates planned, I think that keeps the spark going. If you don't have anything planned with your partner, like nothing at all, not even like a little date night, or even if it has to be at home and you're making a dinner together and you're watching your favorite movie, like having those things planned or like looking forward to those things things for me really keeps the spark going. Like when I know me and Jake have a cute little date night planned, or we've got something going on, or maybe it's a concert or something, knowing I've got all those things with him for me keeps the spark going. I also think attraction, like I think you really do need to find your partner attractive. I mean, what are you doing with them if you don't? You're not with your partner to be in a platonic friendship. Like you need to really find your partner attractive. And again, I think that's something that I've maybe not always had in the past. Like, you know, you can be with someone because it's convenient, you can be with someone because they're a good person, or because, you know, they treat you well, but you need to find them attractive in my eyes to keep the spark alive. Otherwise you've literally got a friendship. This is a good one. What's your thoughts on cosmetic surgery? Now, I have changed my opinion so much on cosmetic surgery. Like, I've never been big on cosmetic surgery. I've never been one of those people that are like, I want this done, I want this done, I want this done. Like, I've never ever been like that. Considering I work in the beauty industry, I've never really like been passionate about getting cosmetic surgery done. I think if you are extremely insecure about something to the point where it's making you borderline depressed or anxious or severely insecure, then absolutely go for it. Like, go for it. Like, I am a firm believer in, like, if you want something and that's what you want, don't let anyone else deter you or make you think otherwise. Like, do things for yourself. Don't let anyone else's opinion or like what they think or what they find attractive change your mind. When I was 19, I was so insecure about my body, like to the point where I think that caused a lot of my anxiety. Like, I suffered quite severely with body dysmorphia. I was always on a diet. I was constantly trying to change my body without actually having cosmetic surgery. I was constantly dyeing my hair. I mean, I still do that now, but I was constantly changing my hair. And it just got to the point where I realized that I was so unhappy with my boobs that I just wasn't happy anymore. I just really wasn't happy with my body. I didn't have a boyfriend. I was too scared to get in a relationship because I never wanted to get naked. Like, I was so insecure about my boobs. So I did have a boob job, like a breast augmentation, is that the right word? But anyway, I had a boob job and it was the best decision I've ever made for me. I didn't actually go that many sizes bigger. I just wanted a nicer shape. I wanted to feel like a girl, and without having my boob job, I did not feel like a girl. I did not feel feminine. I did not feel like pretty, and which is ridiculous because I don't think your body defines your prettiness whatsoever, but I just felt extremely insecure. So having a boob job for me was the best decision I made ever. But now I'm 27, I probably would never get anything done again, like more because I've also suffered with health anxiety, and I personally wouldn't want to put myself through a surgery or like a procedure because I'm scared, to be honest. I'm scared of the repercussions, I'm scared of what might happen. You know, and I know surgery is very common these days, especially things like nose jobs, boob jobs, but I personally I'm not bothered enough. I'm really not bothered enough. When it comes to like lashes and brows and things like that, they're all things that, you know, will wear off. Like, you can rub your brows back off and they can go back to normal. You know, your lashes will eventually like fall out and you'll have your natural lashes again. But actually having things done to your body, like, you can't change that back. So I wouldn't say I'm against surgery at all. Like I said, I think if you really desire it and you want it and you're insecure about your body or your nose or whatever it is, then go for it. But for me, I probably wouldn't get anything else done. I've had my lips done and that is literally it. I've never had Botox, I've never had any other fillers. Again, more because I'm scared. I'm also scared of getting addicted because I know how addictive these procedures can be, especially when it comes to like fillers and Botox and things. But yeah, apart from my lips, I've not had anything else done. And yeah, I mean, like I said, each their own. I think if you want something, absolutely go and do it, but just make sure you're doing it for yourself. Like, seriously, make sure you're doing it for yourself, not for a boyfriend, not for a friend, not to fit in, not to look like these girls on Instagram, because if you do that and then you regret it, you cannot take that back. Like, it's done then. So I would just say, like, make sure you fully know you want this, make sure you 100,000,000% do your research. And also, these things aren't cheap. Like, getting these procedures done aren't cheap, so just make sure that you 1,000,000% want these things done and you've done your research before going for it, because like I said, once you've done it, that's it. There's no turning the time back. So yeah, but I'm not against surgery whatsoever. Like I said, I've had procedures done myself and I don't regret me having a boob job, but I know other people have regretted them, so you've just got to bear that in mind. I'm going to end it on this one because it's quite a nice, just easy, light-hearted question. But what podcasts do you listen to? I absolutely love The Girls Bathroom. Like, I listen to them every week when it comes out. It's literally like a dilemma podcast. I also listen to The Receipts. I think they're really good. Sisters in the City. I mean, all of the podcasts I listen to are really just like girly, easy podcasts when I'm driving to and from work. Sometimes I do like the deeper podcasts, like I like interview podcasts. So I listen to M Rata, one. I think the podcast is literally M Rata. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure if you like search her on Spotify, you will be able to see her podcasts. But yeah, I like interview ones as long as I like the person they're interviewing. Like, sometimes the Diary of a CEO, but sometimes them ones are too like intense for me. Like, if I do just want some downtime and like some time to myself and just have a little laugh, or just to, you know, make the time go, then I will just listen to a cute little girly one. So like I said, The Girls Bathroom, Sisters in the City, and The Receipts podcast. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I actually would love to do more of these. Like, I'd love to like answer your questions, like, you know, how to deal with your boyfriend working away and things like that. Like, I enjoy answering them, even though I probably am not giving the right answers. This is just like my opinion and like what works for me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped you to get to know me a little bit better, and I will see you in the next video.